Good morning everyone, Shirley here. Back with another Mythic video today. This time we're taking a look at the Conclave of the Chosen. And we're gonna jump right in here. Be sure to pop your Mr. Smite's brass compass for good luck. And we're starting out on Gonk today. And I am spec'd pretty much just standard single targets, as well as my Azurite gear with a couple of tests of might. A little bit of cleave won't hurt on this fight, but primarily I'd say you want to go single target, because the key mythic mechanic of this fight is overcoming certain obstacles or overlaps later on, and having more single target throughput is going to make things a lot easier and smoother for your raid as a whole going forward. So as you see, we're nuking Gonk pretty hard here off the get-go without popping Lust. And we're saving our second Warbreaker for the first set of Raptor adds that spawn here. We're going to cleave down the first one as our Death Knight tank grips it in. We're not switching hard on all these Raptors though, that's our range job for the very first set at least, as the melee is going to primarily be on Gonk, and I'm going to use my sweeping strikes and cleave as many executes onto those Raptors as they run by as I can, of course, to help cleave those down. Mainly, we want to get him down as fast as possible, and that's to alleviate an overlap later on in the fight. Now, we're going to start on Kimball next instead of the other one, Paku. And Paku, we're going to leave up the entire fight to, deal with certain mechanics. The ring here on the bird is a lot smaller on Mythic than it is the heroic and normal counterparts, so you have to really watch your space. Unfortunately, I did eat the frog jump on the very first one there. That was a tactical decision, actually, to gain more rage back. Just kidding. But we're going to go ahead, and now we're going to hard swap onto all the Raptors from here on out during the fight. It's only the first set that we were passively cleaving down. They do have priority number 1. I want to get my bleed back up on the boss there, though, during Colossus Smash window, and we're going to go ahead and run away from that last Raptor there, because I was fixated by him. And in Mythic, the Raptors do not mess around. They will pretty much 2-3 shot you, depending on your health pool and gear levels, or if you have any defensives rolling, but you can't really mess with them. You have to have some kind of movement ability to get out of the way. Even if you have a big defensive cooldown, it's usually not enough. You still have to watch out for the frog there. But one thing I wanted to point out as a warrior is if you have Die by the Sword up, you can't actually parry the melee on the Raptors. It will just go through it anyway, so don't try it. Save yourself some time there. But we're going to go ahead and swap over to Akunda as soon as he comes out here, and saving our Warbreaker once again during this overlap to deal with these Raptors that spawn next, because we really want to get these things down as fast as possible. It's the Raptors that's going to wipe your raid team more than anything during this encounter. So we're going to get these down real quick. Akunda's Wrath, this lightning debuff that goes out here, this is the overlap I was talking about us skipping. Now, by pushing as much DPS as we could early on in that fight, that means that Akunda spawns at a different time, so we don't get the Akunda's Wrath debuff during the Winds transition phase, because while you can deal with it if everybody that has the lightning debuff spreads out properly, it's very hard. The orbs come out, there's a ton of them, they'll stun you, they do damage. It's just easily avoidable if you simply, put out more damage ahead of time and avoid the overlap entirely. So from here, we're going to be, still watching out for the bird and cleaving down Akunda. I'm hitting Paku here for a second just because Akunda wasn't there just to do some damage, though it doesn't matter at the end of the day since the bosses will heal up. We're going to go ahead and save our Warbreaker again to help deal with these Raptors, pop sweeping strikes, and get these things down. Now there is one fixated next to me there. We have to be a bit careful running these things around the room, because as the Raptors get close to each other on Mythic, I'm not sure if it's this way on Heroic actually, but on Mythic they gain a speed increase that makes them run considerably faster, and you cannot outrun them on foot anymore. You have to have some kind of movement ability up to get away from them at that point. And even then, if people aren't focus firing the Raptors that are fixated with the speed increase, they can still catch up to you really fast and eat you in pretty much 2 hits. So on the fight now, as we get down to Paku, it's just a burn phase here. This is the last check, really, for our healers and DPS, but our healers more than anything, because the curse debuff that goes out that makes people immune to healing that can be dispelled, that is ramping ever all the more as the fight is going on here towards the end, and more of these debuffs are going to be coming out, and it's just managing that. We are still going to go ahead and kill all these raptors down, even though the last boss is at about 50% health. There's no way we could have got him down in time without the raptors just decimating your raid. Not yet, anyway. I saw the last one there was on pretty low health. It wasn't worth wasting the charge for, so we're going to go ahead and get down this last boss here. I am stone form capable, as in I have the dwarf racial, because Orc transforms into a dwarf, which is really useful for this fight actually, because during this last phase here, you see me pop stone form right there. That can be used to actually cleanse the curse off of yourself. Now you don't want to use that immediately if you're at full health, because it just jumps to somebody else in your raid and doesn't really do much. But as you're getting down below 50% health, you know, consider using that to purge yourself of the debuff to help out your healers and, you know, allow some incoming healing. But Paku's going to go down here, and we're finally going to drop Conclave the Chosen. It's not a great fight for arms or melee, but it's not terrible either. Hope you all enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below, and I will see you next time. Peace.
And when you only have 70k health, that's a one-shot.
I mean, if you have every man for yourself, you can just pop that and walk
died the most tonight, and
I think we're all pretty equal, I'll be honest.